How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have All Systems Go. Say their names and what they do in the band.
That's you, Matt. You start.
That's me? Okay. I'm Matt. I sing and play guitar.
I'm Barry Drewmore, and I also sing and play guitar.
And I'm Joe, and I play the drums.
Man, I thought he was going to say sing and play guitar. I'm
Oh,
for 1
Wouldn't
already.
that be something? He does sing and play guitar for what it's worth, just not in the band.
True.
There you go.
True.
Well, listen, all right. I'll take back that W. The W has been retrieved. But no, that's awesome. Thank you guys for coming on. As a former New Jerseyan, I gotta show the New Jersey love. But the first question I have for you guys, how did All Systems Go start out? Like, what is the origin story about how you guys formulated?
Good one.
So originally we started as a band in high school. Not all of us currently in the band, but me and Matt.
Okay.
We were a band called But We Aren't Canadian, which ironically comes back to today. So we started that band back up when we regrouped after high school. It was about like 2 years after not talking for a while, but me and Matt reconnected, and he had a bunch of music that he had written, and we just thought about a lot about the what ifs, and instead of just thinking about the what ifs, we kind of just acted upon it and created All Systems Go.
There we go. And how did you guys kind of get the rest of your members? As you said, I feel like it was from a former band that kind of like, obviously growing up in the scene, you meet other people. So did you guys, all the other members, did you guys meet at like shows, or how did that kind of come to be?
So the other two members that started All Systems Go that weren't But We Aren't Canadian, they hopped right back onto the back onto the stage with us. So August and Kyle, bassist and drummer. When we started in 2016, we did our first few gigs like acoustic, just so we could kind of like get our chemistry back.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, so then because we were doing acoustic, Kyle figured it was like easier to just do that and like play cajon and stuff. And after like our third or fourth show, he was like, if this is the amount of time that it's going to take to like get a full band back, he's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to put in the time to like relearn how to play full drums.
Okay.
But luckily, we also went to high school with Joe, who is one of the best drummers in South Jersey. So like all of us in the band, aside from Dean showed up a little bit later. All of us go way back. Like we've known each other since like middle school, from like band.
And actually, me and Matt had actually also been attending these jam sessions of a little group of friends from our high school and some people from other high schools in like the year previous to that. And he had taken some of the songs that ended up being ASG songs to those jam sessions. They kind of fizzled out and then a few months later they reached out to me about joining the band.
There you go. That's cool. As someone, again, that has been in the Jersey scene, I feel like I've seen your name before. Again, I'm old as dirt, so I feel like sometimes I'm like, okay, recognize a name, just can't place the faces, or it's like I recognize the faces but can't place the name, whatever, insert joke about me getting old here. But your name sounded so familiar, and shout outs to Megan who hooked it up. She was like, oh, do you know this band? And I was like, probably. There's a very good chance that I saw them and just like went over the dome. So I feel like for me, it's cool that you guys are, doing the thing in New Jersey. You guys did a record with Man Overboard's, one of the members, Man Overboard, Nick Bruzzese. I think I butchered the fuck out of that, but I'm gonna.
You got it.
You got it, yeah.
Oh, thank God, we're 2 for 2, baby. Let's go. But how was working with that? Because I feel like as a somebody who grew up in this scene, like that is such a huge name and such a at least for me, like I love Man Overboard. So how was that experience for you guys? Because I imagine it's got to hold some weight, certainly.
It absolutely did. It was like the first time we worked with a real producer in a studio rather than just a sound engineer.
Mm-hmm.
And he specifically taught us a lot about like what people wanted to hear in songs, about getting to the point, and about not dilly-dallying and cutting out a lot of stuff that we thought was so important to the songs but ended up kind of being irrelevant.
Anyone else?
I was gonna say the one thing that I took away from Nick especially is like he has such a good ear for, I guess like just songwriting in general.
Mhm.
Like, you know, Man Overboard has like all of their entire discography is just catchy jams. It's
Oh
like
yeah.
Mhm.
going into the studio and then working with him, like I'm trying to think, because a couple of the changes that we made to some of the songs, like they weren't like really necessarily like big ones, but they changed the whole like context. And some of the ones that we thought didn't need that that many changes to them, like that they ended up going through the most
Oh
changes.
wow. Okay.
Like
Mhm.
for example, like "Don't Let Me Go," our song "Don't Let Me Go," how it starts, "I've always been on the." There was an intro before that that was in the other key that the chorus
What?
was in. So
Wow.
the only thing that we did with that song is just drop the intro, and that just changed like the entire context of the song. Like
Mhm.
before, it sounded like there was like, you don't need this extra key change in here. It's like you can throw people for a loop just by you can still have that key, like have the song in the same key, but like let it show up in the chorus when it like really like hits for the first time kind of
Sure.
thing. And it's
Yeah.
like that completely changed that entire song, just that little tweak. It was like all things like that. It's like he's just got a good ear for music.
Mm.
One of
Yeah.
the big things that I noticed we did is we would go into a lot of bridges and try and make that like the slow, soft part of the songs, and he would immediately be like, "No, screw that. This should be the loudest. It should be the biggest part of the song. We should have,
100%.
you know,
Yeah.
over the top 10 layers of harmonies, you know, instead of just like, your sweet melodic stuff." And we definitely apply that to a lot of the stuff in the upcoming record.
Yeah.
Mm.
Also, he beat the shit out of Joe on drum bass.
I was gonna say, yeah, he taught me how to get good drum tones in a recording studio, and really held me to that standard for all the times that we recorded. And it sucks in the moment, but then you listen to the tracks and you're like, wow, that's awesome. I am okay with Nick totally like kicking my butt in the studio.
That's great, Nick.
It works.
We're gonna have to corroborate that. Like, did you have like Joe sign a waiver so he could like beat you up? Like, there's some details that are missing there that I feel like as an interviewer, I need to be able to like clear the air a little bit on. So if you could let me know in the comments or shoot me an email, like I want to make sure we're no. Nick seems very cool, and from the other experiences that I've had interviewing other bands that have gone with him, in terms of production, I feel like in the best way possible, he like drags out some of the like
Mm.
coolest things that you're like, I don't know if I could do that. And then, there's always a Nick story that I feel like when I ask about him that is always going to be like, man, it would be really cool to just have Nick on to talk about his experiences with other bands, because I'm sure he's got some like crazy stories about doing like production and stuff like that. So
Oh yeah.
very cool.
Yeah. In
There's
terms
the
of like,
Scarewell house.
there's that too. I don't know if you've seen it, the videos of mixing engineer, or he's also he also produces bands too, Matt Weber. He has like this series of like going around to the Gradwell house and like hiding behind corners and scaring people. He gets Nick all the time with that. It's hilarious.
Oh, I'm gonna have
And
to.
it's the best.
We're gonna have to throw a
reactions are
clip
the
up there.
best.
We're gonna throw a clip up, guys, and post. Brandon's gonna throw a clip so y'all can have a funny. But
Oh yeah.
man, oh, that's hilarious. I feel like if I was at a production studio, I feel like you gotta have a good time. Like there's something about it, like making music and enjoying that. I think that shows up in the final product certainly, and it's like you can tell if someone's into it. I was like talking to Greyhaven yesterday, and I was just talking about how important it is for bands to just be involved in like what they make, whether it's like you're a local band or you've been doing this is like your 10th album you've done. Like I think there's just such an importance to it. And then obviously knowing that you guys went with Nick and you had such a great experience was such a cool thing. Do you feel like the songs that you guys had like kind of pre-pro'd or demoed out, if you had gone with someone else, you feel like maybe it wouldn't have came out the way that you intended it to? Or like were there things that Nick did that I mean, obviously I know you mentioned a few points on where Nick kind of changed up the song, but do you feel like he was like, man, I don't know, like what if you played this guitar part or like this drum part that might fit better than like in the demo, where you're like, okay, like this is just kind of like the filler piece to ultimately end up on the album? Or maybe not, you might have scrapped it, who knows?
I think compared to, because when this is the first time that when we did demos for any of our records, like we put like a ton of effort into like even if some of the stuff that we wrote like changed or whatever, we put a ton of effort into like making sure that everything was like on point, like at
Mm-hmm.
least like layered every harmony, like made sure that everything was like tracked the way that we wanted to, so that when we presented it to Nick, it's like, okay, here, this is what our vision is, kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
But I would say everything that he changed, like all the little tweaks and stuff, like, because I want to say there were 2 or 3 songs where he was like, "Nah, this is fine the way it is. Like, don't change
Oh,
anything
nice. Okay.
about this kind of thing." So it was like, but the things that were changed, I think, were like the big kickers of, okay, now these songs are like our favorites essentially.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Real, it did help like finish molding our identity. I feel like
Mm.
he had a very good idea of what we sounded like, what we wanted to sound like, and he gave it to us. So
Yeah, I would definitely go on record and say Nick made our songs and the whole album like way better just by being involved in the process with him. 100%.
Yeah, and you like to hear that because I feel like with artists and the amount of artists I've had on is like such a gratifying experience as like a fan and also like musician lover myself. Like I feel like for me it's like you can hear it, and I listened to just before we hopped on, I listened to "Don't Let Me Go," and I was like blown away because I was like, these guys are like a local band. Like that's kind of wild to me. So I feel like you guys have, and the fact that like there was an intro part and that got removed, like wouldn't have thought that. And now that that piece of knowledge is out there, it's gonna like I'm gonna be like, well, what did it sound like? I'm very much like in the weeds of those sorts of things, but I think
Yeah.
it's good. I think it's good because like I do agree with Nick on the fact that it just kind of jumps right to it. I mean, obviously the music video is a little bit different, but in terms of the actual song, like I feel like you guys get into it right away. And as I've gone to like a couple different music conferences, they're always like, attention span is like getting shorter and shorter by the day.
Oh yeah.
And so I feel like with a song like this, like I was immediately on it, like, and I think that that's
Mhm.
important because sometimes like people are like, oh, well, I like this intro part, but I feel so dedicated to doing this intro part that I'm not really thinking about how the rest of the album or the rest of the song kind of plays out. And I got to give a lot of props to Nick for thinking about those sorts of things when, putting your guys' album together. So salutes to Nick here. But
Definitely.
the next question I have for you guys kind of trails into the other things. Who are you guys influenced by? Who kind of got you started out playing your respective instruments, and then who influences your style more currently now?
Oh, that's a wide array.
Yeah.
To start, it's the obvious. It's the Blink-182. We got the tattoo right here.
Oh yeah.
It's a hardcore inspiration that whole time area. You got the Green Days. You got your Sum 41s. You name it. But more today, I would go a lot more Midwest, like the emo bands. I like my Modern Baseball. I like Hot Mulligan.
Ooh, okay.
Two of my favorite bands, and they definitely influenced like the change in my writing.
I would say because throughout like high school and even just before starting All Systems Go, I was primarily a saxophone player. So
What?
getting into music, I would say my primarily influence was like Bruce Springsteen's band with like Clarence Clemens. Like that's why
Okay,
I wanted
yeah.
to play saxophone.
E
like, way
Street
back
Band,
when.
yeah.
Yeah. So going into All Systems Go at the time, like in high school, my favorite band was A Day to Remember. And I was listening to like The Devil Wears Prada and Escape the Fate and all that stuff too.
Mhm.
Didn't get into pop punk until like college. But then once we started All Systems Go, it was like the types of songs that I had written down already and the maybe like iPhone demos of like other stuff. It was like,
Mhm.
what's a way that I can bring like Jersey rock and roll plus like A Day to Remember's like aggressive sound kind of thing, and a
Okay,
couple of the
yeah.
songs like on our first couple records, I feel like kind of have like they like kind of mix the two. It's really subtle in some parts, but like they kind of mix the two in like because those two bands are like from the furthest apart from each other. It's
Yeah.
like how can we make that sound and like and it just ends up being pop punk essentially.
Yeah.
But like nowadays, it's like in terms of like writing or like playing, like I like the Wonder Years. I like proggy stuff, like the Fall of Troy, heavier stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like I just started listening to Counterparts recently. Really great band.
Ooh, yeah, fantastic. Yeah, new album coming out soon.
Yeah, the day after ours.
Oh, is it? Oh my God. Oh,
Yeah.
oh boy. Well, salutes. That's what I got.
Yeah. Well, album's done for. No.
I don't think
And,
I wouldn't say that, but it's
Well, we did announce it the same day the Queen died, so that was also a little bit of a bummer.
that was
wow.
that's
You
right.
guys are killing it. No pun intended.
Yeah,
That was a
it's
terrible
like
joke. Terrible joke.
we're the
Terrible
Nick
joke.
Castellanos of pop punk.
Oh, God.
I saw Matt's face and he was immediately like, I hope you cut this out, man. Like it'll be unedited. No, I'm kidding. I'll if that that doesn't land very well, I'll throw it out. But
Joe.
Joe.
But yeah, I'm influenced. I actually was influenced a lot by Paramore growing up.
Ooh, okay.
And I would just like all through high school, just like listening to those songs and just playing them over and over again. So a lot of my drumming influence in the rock genre, at least, comes from Paramore. But when I started playing in All Systems Go, these guys got me into some of the more modern pop punk stuff, State Champs, Neck Deep, bands like that, and I've kind of assimilated to some more of those sort of styles as well in my playing with All Systems Go. All great stuff that I enjoy just listening to as well. Some bands we've played with, Goalkeeper and Driveways, have some really awesome stuff. I love
Yeah,
love
they
listening to them too. So
Goalkeeper
It's a
of
lot
the
of
boys.
local music.
Yeah.
yeah.
Love those guys. Goalkeeper.
Mm.
What's going on? Love you.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like you guys, if I had to kind of put my thoughts on it, I feel like for me, there was just like a little sprinkle of like Man Overboard, just because Nick, I feel like he had that little like little Salt Bay action there.
Mhm.
And then I feel like the other bands that kind of struck me off the gate were you guys kind of got a little bit of like a knuckle puck kind of vibe.
Okay.
And then I would say another band that I was thinking of is there's a little bit of like Bruce Springsteen, E Street, a little bit. Like I could just imagine, like I don't know, it was just like something just from obviously being a New Jerseyan. Like that was something that I kind of like. There's just like a little bit, not a lot, just like just a little smidge.
A few of our friends have said the Menzingers too. Like we sound a little bit like them in
Yeah,
some of the songs.
I could see
kind
that.
of.
Yeah, you guys got kind of a Messengers kind of vibe to it, and then the other band I was thinking of was like the Wonder Years, kind of in that sort of bubble of if it was a Venn diagram, this would be All Systems Go. But yeah, I feel like all of those bands were the ones that I was kind of thinking of. But what were you gonna say, Matt?
Oh no, I was gonna say I think that's along with what we sound like.
There we go, guys. Well, let us know what you think they sound like in the comments. But the next question I have for you guys, keeping it more current. What are you guys jamming currently? What's on the Spotify? What have you been listening to lately?
Ooh.
Sooner by Goalkeeper on repeat. I can't wait for that album. Like,
Oh, it's gonna be tight.
the amount of times I've listened to that song with the windows down, like in my car and stuff, has been like the whole like last like month worth of summer. And Driveways too. A lot of Driveways recently.
Nice.
Counterparts.
Very cool. Very cool.
Good stuff. For me, it's mostly Origami Angel, Mom Jeans, Hot Mulligan. Lots of local stuff. I like Sweet Echo. Ditz is probably the #1 band in New Jersey. You got to check them out if you haven't already. Tiger Castle, another good band from Philly. But mostly just local music, and then throw in a couple of bands here and there.
There we go. Great.
Mm.
Love it, Barry. Joe, what do you got?
I've bounced all over the place with listening stuff. Recently, I've been doing a lot of podcasts when I have listening time. But when I am listening to music, it's a lot of the Goalkeeper EP right now. And the past year, I've been really into musical theater music, and the Dear Evan Hansen soundtrack has been on repeat for a little while. So, good music there too.
There we go. That's very sick. I love the goalkeeper love, as they have been on the channel multiple times and multiple. Funnily enough, I'll give a little secret that I feel like most people didn't pick up on, but I have done an interview with the band 3 different times, and I've gotten 3 different members for each interview. So it's been pretty interesting. I haven't gotten all 3 of them collectively, so I honestly don't know if they exist together, but I know that they exist as individuals. So that's what scares me.
We can verify they did exist together.
Yeah,
We've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad the information can be corroborated a little bit, because I was getting a little, it's a little sus, a little bit. Just, you get 1 week you get Mark, and then the other week you get Ryan, and then, like, what happens, So it's kind of wild to me. So I'm glad you guys were able to let me know they exist as a band. So that's a joke. I have seen Goalkeeper live, and I know that they're a band collectively. I hope everybody does not take me seriously. Also, I want to give a shout out to Joe for mentioning podcasts, because this episode will also be a podcast episode, and it'll be up on Spotify, so you can go listen to it on there, Apple Music, all that shit. So Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, it'll be there. So shameless plug. But the next question I have for you guys, a fun one. If you guys could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
All right, so I've been trying to get them to cover, speaking of Hot Mulligan, Buy a Fire Extinguisher for like 3 years now, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
All
we
right.
used to do cover band shows. That was on the list.
Oh, that would be cool. All right.
I've been on an Infinity on High by Fall Out Boy kick recently, and I know Patrick Stump plays the riff and sings it at the same time, which is like, I don't know how, but
yeah,
I would love to cover the Take Over the Breaks Over.
Oh,
Really
that's
fun song.
Classic. Love it. All right. Joe, what do you got?
We've already covered Our Time Now by the Plain White T's, which is like one of my favorites to just jam out to. But if I had to do like a dream one, I'd probably pick Ignorance by Paramore, just because it's an amazing song, and I'm a big Paramore fan. So,
ooh, all right.
We would never get the vocals to work ever, but if in some other reality we could do that, I would be very happy.
I feel like you could get a female vocalist to do like a feature.
Yeah,
I feel like that'd be kind of tight,
Yeah, someone to stand in.
Someone to stand in. Listen, guys, you had 3 great choices. You can weigh in on the comments. Let us know what All Systems Go should be doing for a cover song, or you can throw a wild card in and leave your own suggestion down below, and then we can have just a fight in the comments. I'm not going to be a moderator, but like, if things get heated, I'm just going to do this, so, just have at it. But the next question I have for you guys, you do have a new album coming out. Could you go into a little bit more detail on, when it's releasing, and if you have a favorite track? I imagine they're like your babies, but, you gotta have a favorite, I feel.
So the album is called Nonfiction, and it releases Thursday, October 6th.
There we go. Very cool. And then, Matt, what do you got as a favorite?
Okay. My favorite track on Nonfiction is track 7, which is called 4 Guys, 1 Machete. Devin picked the title. The reason it's my favorite, it was actually the very last song that we wrote for the album. We wrote it a couple weeks before going into the studio. It was one of those moments where Devin came up with one of the parts of the songs and was like, if I don't continue working on this now, I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
We instrumentally worked it out, and then he brought up the topic of what the song should be about, and used like the story that we had as like a metaphor for overcoming obstacles in life. The song itself is about when us two and 2 of our friends from high school, there was a time where we were like 13 or 14, and we got lost in the woods when it was getting dark out.
Oh no.
We were lost in the woods for like an hour or so. We made it out, but it was like one of those things where it was like, it popped up in my Facebook memories.
We didn't
like
make
around
it.
He did make it.
That's it. Yeah, no, we're not here right now.
This is like a Tupac hologram thing going on here,
Yeah.
AI is getting so ridiculous right now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, that was a
Yeah.
terrible joke.
Yeah, but we it came up in my Facebook memories around the time we were writing the song and or like working out the instrumentals and stuff. And then Devin was like, "What if we took this like incident that we went like this event that we went through and like used it as a metaphor for like bigger things in life, like overcoming obstacles and stuff?"
Sure,
And
yeah.
something about that just like clicked with me. So like writing all the lyrics were super, especially because Devin came up with like 90% of the instrumental like for the whole song, like having that like ready and then just writing the lyrics to that like it just clicked really easily and just like that's a story like when me and my friends when we revisit it, it's always like one of those things that was like it sucked at the time, but like it's like one of my favorite stories from when we were
Sure.
like
Yeah.
younger, and it's like now it exists
Mhm.
forever in that song. So that's why that song's my favorite.
Also, the track title is great. 2 thumbs
Yeah.
up.
Oh,
I
yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah.
So our album release show is actually on October 15th. And what's that, a Saturday?
Saturday.
We'll
Yep.
call it a Saturday. And it's in Palmyra, Palmyra and Pennsauken, one of those two things. In
Begins
New
with a
Jersey.
P.
Yeah.
It's
If
about
you're
right.
at one, it's like the one's right next to it, so it doesn't matter. Well, come see us, and we'd appreciate it. And my favorite track is the one where they ride off into the sunset because it's the song that I wrote for my fiance, who I'm getting married to next year, so that'll be awesome.
Kudos. Love it. Joe?
And this is a tough one for me. I'm going to mention 2 honorable mentions and my regular one because it's so hard to pick. They're all so good.
Fair enough.
First of all, I wrote a song for the album, and I was just like, to hear it all fully done is just it like blows my mind every time, and how I'm just so happy with how it came out. But then, like even better than that, Dean's song "Don't Let Me Go" is just like amazing. So catchy. The chorus is great. I love the production on it. But I think my top choice is definitely going to go to "Public Figure," which is one of the tracks that Matt wrote, which I think is like going to be one of the big sleepers on like
Ooh, all right.
on the album.
Mhm.
It's like in your face and aggressive, and the lyrics are great, and it's got this big anthemic like bridge at the end, and I think it's just a rocking song that I enjoy playing a lot. First of all, and second of all, I just like will just play on my phone and just like jam out to it, even outside of being in the band. I enjoy that song a lot.
I feel like every time someone brings up like listening to their own music, I always get like this cringe reaction, or someone's in the comments like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you listen to your own band's music." I'm like, listen, I'm the same way. Like
Nonstop.
sometimes I'll watch my old interviews and be like, "Man, I suck," and then I'm like, then I watch a current one, and I'm like, "Wow, I still suck, but like a little bit better." You know? So like there we go. It's all about growth, and I feel like if anything, I think it shows like if you can listen to your own band and really enjoy it, then that's like I feel like that's a good thing, because at least for me, like you are listening to these songs like constantly to like try to figure out what works. Like if you have a demo, you have to figure out this, you got to figure out that. You go into the studio, you make the song, you got to figure out how the mix and master is going to go. So by the end of it, you've probably listened to it, I don't even know how many times. If you still love it after that, come on. Like I have no shit to talk at all, because I feel like if you can say you love your songs that much, then like that's a good thing. And I think for me as a listener, that's also a very good thing, because I feel like you would be your hardest critique about your music, so that's a good
Oh,
sign.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
guys, go check the links below to go follow All Systems Go if you haven't. Like we'll wait. No, I'm kidding. We're not actually gonna wait. But that's awesome, guys. And I'll also leave a link for nonfiction as well. Links below. And if you can come to Jersey, I'm gonna have to take a look at my schedule and see if I can come out there, because that'd be kind of sick. So we'll keep an eye out for that. But the next question I have for you guys: what is your favorite food to eat?
Fruit?
Food, FOOD.
Oh.
Unless you want it to be fruit, then you can. If your favorite food is fruit, then you could also say that. But
That's a good answer. It's a good old-fashioned Philly cheesesteak. That's what it is. Not none of that. Not Geno's. Not Pat's. Not none of that bullshit. No, you gotta go to find like some shitty pizza store on the corner. You go in there. You see that dirty ass grill. You ask for extra cheese whiz. You get the grilled onions. You know that shit's gonna give you the worst shits in the morning.
Oh,
but
big
guess what?
facts.
It's gonna taste fucking delicious.
100%. Kudos. My man Barry, killing it. Oh, yeah, you know it.
Thank you. Thanks
Well
for
deserved.
All of that.
That was, yeah. Woo! Came out the gate swinging. All right, respect. I don't know how Matt or Joe are gonna follow this up, but that was like, that was the hardest selling point on a Philly cheesesteak I've ever seen. You know, if I'm giving out awards at the end of the year for best answer, that's gonna be. He really
Great.
sold it, you know, and I live here, so I don't have to be sold, you know, like.
Oh gosh.
Let's see. I mean, I love a lot of Italian food.
Right.
I would say ravioli probably. Always my go-to if there's like an option at like an Italian restaurant or like any shitty pizza shop that also has on the corner that has any like sort of Italian food. I'll usually get like pasta or ravioli or something like that.
Fair. Joe?
And I'm a fan of good old-fashioned macaroni and cheese. You know, get some Wawa mac and cheese, put some bacon in it. Oh yeah.
Wow, these are some fucking awesome answers, you know. I had Barry just fucking beat me into the ground with the Philly cheesesteak. I had Matt tell me how much, you know, Italian food means to him, and then Joe was just like, you know, the New Jersey classic, which is Wawa. So, listen, I feel so comforted right now, you know, like that cheese that's gonna be the cheese that's gonna be rolling through my system later. But yeah, guys, let us know if you've had a Philly cheesesteak and if Barry had sold you on getting one. If you don't live on the East Coast, then it doesn't count. You can't just go to a fucking Applebee's and get a cheesesteak. That doesn't count, you know? That's not real. That's bullshit. No, it's not real shit. So come out to Philadelphia.
None of that mainstream shit.
Nah, you got... Barry was on point. You gotta... Okay, so, like, find, like, health code safety dirty, like... Italian food place, because listen, I don't want to be responsible if you get food poisoning. You probably will anyway, but I don't want to be responsible for it. So this is me saying I'm not taking any responsibility for it on the internet. But
you go, you find that street, you find that one little neighborhood with the people standing on the corner that you don't want to go anywhere near, but you walk past them for that cheesesteak. You swear.
You show them who's boss. You have to show, like, it's like the alpha dog mentality. You have to stand next to him and be like, listen, I'm coming here for my fucking cheesesteak, and then they'll respect you, you know?
And I want pictures of receipts as proof, and I want to see them in your stories.
I need to see them in the DMs, all that shit. It's not real unless we see DMs. Tag both of us on Instagram. I don't know why I'm getting so hyper about this shit, but it's for real, though. Barry really just hyped me up about cheesesteak right now. So
I want to see the worst cheesesteak you've ever eaten.
Please don't do that. I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
if you do objectively get a cheesesteak, then that's great, but it can't be from TGI Fridays. So get that shit out here. That's like, you know, throw that shit out here. No. Not taking
there's this account on Twitter called Fucked Up Looking Food, and it randomly appeared. It randomly appeared in the ASG feed, and then like I liked it or commented on it or like replied to it and was like, oh god, what the fuck? And then I showed it to Devin, and then Devin was like followed, and then I just see him like throughout the week, just like, oh, Barry drew more like this, and it appears in like the band feed, and I'm just like. Can you stop? And then now it's just I don't even like on.
It's fucked up cars too now.
This episode is sponsored by Fucked Up Cars. Go follow the. No, I'm not kidding. I can't do that.
Oh my God.
I can't be responsible.
I don't even follow the food account, and it literally appears every single day in like either my personal or the band account on Twitter. I can't escape it.
Can't escape it, guys. The album release show is gonna be sponsored by Fucked Up Cars. Get ready. You're gonna find the finest memes there. So, guys, you're welcome for selling all those tickets now. But anyway, guys, let us know. Again, Megan, I'm so sorry. Thank you guys so much for the cheesesteak love. Listen, as PA resident and also former New Jerseyan, guys, gotta salute. But getting back to the stuff, as much as I'd love to talk about fucked up food, the next question I have for you guys: if you were to have a dream guest feature on an up and coming All System Go record, who would you want?
Jeez.
It wasn't gonna get easier. Jesus, oh, that might be a little hard. I just wanna, yeah, just a little.
I would say either Jeremy McKinnon from A Day to Remember or Soupy from the Wonder Years.
Ooh, okay, all right.
I'm gonna piggyback that Jeremy McKinnon thing. That would be
double.
sweet.
All right.
You get the double feature. He could sing and scream, man.
That's true. That's
It's
true.
a win-win.
Big facts. Joe?
And I'm going to take the basic Paramore fan answer of Haley Williams because she has an amazing voice. And they're coming out with new music, and I'm excited about that. So.
Oh, I'm already going to be on it as soon as the single, I'm going to be like, low-key spoiler, guys. The reaction video will be out at some point, so I can just, fangirl.
Amazing.
But love it. Listen, we are about the Jeremy McKinnon love here. So guys, listen, what you do is you take your phone out and you go follow Fucked Up Trucks on Twitter. No, actually, you don't. So what you do is you go on Twitter and you tag All Systems Go and you tag A Day to Remember / Haley Williams / Paramore, and then you say collab ? And then again, I didn't go to law school, but I want to argue that there is some legally binding contract that may or may not exist within a tweet. So, just want to say that was my 2 cents here. So, guys, if you want to make it happen, you repost it or reshare it and then like it, and then it just happens. It just the Haley Williams will just magically show up to Nick Brzez's studio, and then Jeremy McKinnon will come out of the floor, and then just he's like, yo, what's up, guys, let's do it. All right, so that's that. I don't know, I'm just kind of maybe reaching a little bit, but I'd imagine that's what happens, exact thing, and then everybody's like the reaction videos that you see, so it's gonna be great.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Don't. It's reality, guys, just remember that. So manifestation, let's go. That's what we're about here. All right, next question for you guys: if there was another musical instrument you could master, what would it be?
Piano.
Ooh, all right.
You could play anything on the piano, man. You could drop some panties. It's a great instrument.
I think I'm gonna ditto piano.
Wow. All right.
I can play piano, but master is a whole I'm very far from that. So that would be cool to actually be actually good at the piano.
I'm gonna go ahead and say drums.
Ooh.
But metalcore drums.
Oh, the double bass and the crash.
Yeah.
What's the double kick?
Double
some
kick.
Matt Griner, Kyle Brownlee shit,
yeah.
blast beats and.
I got you. The chops.
Respect.
The chops. Yeah. Ooh, all right. I like those answers as being, growing up listening to a lot of not A Day to Remember, August Burns Red. Can agree. Also, funny story, I did meet him at an Angels and Airwaves show, randomly. I was
Wow.
I was upstairs, and I was like, you know what, that looks a lot like Matt Griner. And then I was just like, it also kind of looks like Bradley Cooper. And then I was just like, either way, I mean, I think that's a dub. So I went up to him. I was just like, you're Matt Griner from August Burns Red. And he's like, I didn't think anybody would recognize me here at an Angel in Airwaves show. And I was like, I mean, okay. I was like, so then we started talking and stuff, and he's such a nice dude. So shout outs to Matt Griner. What a lovely human. And then we did a photo, and I was like, man, if only Kid Brandon was stoked on this shit, I was so hyped. So
I would
love
be
that.
fangirling.
It was actually really cool. He was very nice, and then he was just like, hey, I'm here to enjoy Angels and Airwaves. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry, man. Like, no big deal. And then we just went on our ways, you know? So, but major respect to him for, like, I feel like he took the time to, like, talk. It wasn't like he was, like, trying to, like, rush me out of the conversation. So I got to give him a lot of props. But the next question I have for you guys is my personal favorite. As you can tell, I'm a huge nerd, so I like to ask this question. If you could be a video game character, who would you be?
Oh my lord. I'm going to go with Skull from Persona 5. Or Ryuji, as his street name is.
Barry's killing it.
I'm gonna go ahead and I've beaten a lot of the Super Mario Brothers games, so I feel like I'd be fine and not like fucking die and get burned. Well, you get multiple lives anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead. And say Mario.
Well, you did say
You're Toad,
ravioli. You did
motherfucker.
say raviolis earlier, so I feel like you're keeping within the lane. The Italian lane. So I appreciate that. Respect. Salutes.
Very true. And I'm gonna go with one of my favorite games, Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars video game. I'm gonna say Darth Revan from Knights of the Old Republic.
Man, you guys got some good ones. That one peak answers. I like it. I like it. Next question, guys.
It'd be a good fighting team.
It would be a good, listen, and then your weapons would just be a really greased up Philly cheesesteak, Keep him with the bit, guys. We love it here. The next question I have for you guys, getting back to the music stuff, if you guys were to compile a dream tour lineup, including All Systems Go, who would be on it?
I feel like you could approach this question two ways, like us as an opening act or us as like a headliner.
I would always love to include my boys, Sweet Echo. Their music is amazing. They write spooky rock, and it's pretty badass.
Oh yeah.
I would say if it was like would love to do a tour with Sweet Echo, like if it was like a more locally based thing.
Oh, okay. Why don't you give me one local lineup and one we dreaming here?
Yeah, I was gonna say because I feel like we play a lot of shows with just like local bands anyway, and we've done like runs with people. I feel like a good one for us would definitely be us, Sweet Echo, and Ditz. That would be like the killer.
All right,
like
all
local.
Right. I could get down for that. I'll sign on for that shit. My seal of approval.
Ditz is actually from. You said you were from Wrightstown. They're from Wrightstown and Bordentown.
Yep.
So they're super local to there.
Shouts to Ditz.
I guess we gotta go with Blink-182. I mean, it's pretty out there. That brings the crowd.
They do.
I would say if you're going to go Blink-182, put the Wonder Years on that bill too. Get two different types of pop punk plus us.
All right. Joe, what are you gonna finalize this dream lineup with?
That's a great question. I was gonna say Green Day, but I don't know if you want to do Blink-182 and Green Day. But you know what?
Actually, Paramore.
I heard, or Paramore. That's true. But I'm gonna go with Green Day because I didn't actually go to the Hella Mega Tour, but every single person who went, who I knew, said that they were really, really great live. So.
All right. Well, these are both very cool lineups. Pre-sale tickets are already in the bio. You already know it's good. If you had bought tickets, too bad. They're pre-sale, so now, no, I'm kidding. But if you do want to make those happen, especially that local tour, that'd be kind of nice, And then, guys, as All Systems Go, I feel like you can use this as like a little bit of ammunition that you said it on an interview, and that it's in the internet ether, and that it should be like the ball should be turning, the ball should be moving, and you got the audio addiction plug, and I'm just saying,
Oh, yeah. I'm just gonna tweet this right after this interview, like, "Hey, Sweet Echo Ditz, I said in an interview that we should tour together, so we should tour together." Could make it happen.
I feel like this, like if they needed this is like the exclamation point on like the end of the sentence. We're like, I'm just trying. If I feel like I can push that like manifestation realism here, that's what we're doing. So, guys, if you want to make that happen, make sure to retweet that Twitter post because I'm going to, and you should if you want to see it. Even though this will probably
I'm
be
not.
like months later. I'm just
He's
kidding.
just
It'll
gonna-
be a month later, but it will
He's
still
not.
happen.
He's not. He's just gonna go to the fucked up looking food account and retweet all that.
You're right. Exactly. How'd you know? That's man. Plot foiled. I feel like now I have to follow it because I feel like people are gonna bully me into not follow. Like they're gonna be like, "Yo, Brandon, why didn't you follow it, man? What the fuck?" Now I'm gonna have to do it. So.
There's gonna be a lot of regret behind that, I promise.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to film myself being like the meme where the guy has to choose between the two buttons and I'm just sweating. That's me. To follow or not to follow. That's what it's gonna come down to. Or follow to follow. Whatever. But yeah, very excited to be following Fucked Up Trucks, guys. Let's go. We out here. Anyway. I love how this is just gonna be the running joke of this interview.
It's just gonna keep making its way back in.
I feel like
that's,
we are doing so much of a service to them now that I feel like I have to be sponsored by them to do this shit, So
That's the clickbait title, though. Fucked
Yeah.
Up Trucks and Philly cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
and
We'll
all
just
systems go.
Because of the tweets, and put them on the back of the stage at the show.
I like as the interview goes on, like I'll just find like the worst fucked up truck and just like have it like slowly like the opacity slowly like get like brighter and brighter as like and then once the end of the interview happens, you get to see the full photo. I'm not gonna do that because that's my computer would probably like be engulfed in flames.
Crash.
But yeah, it'd be too powerful, It'd be like if I was like Sora and then I had to like take on Sephiroth, like. We ain't doing that shit, but respect. Fucked up trucks. You're welcome. Anyway, next question for you guys. In your opinion, who puts on a great live performance in terms of the bands you've seen?
The best show I've ever seen is Florence and the Machine. She is incredible. She runs all over the stage, and it's insane. And then second best show I've ever seen had to be Childish Gambino because he is a marvel in itself as well.
Man, those are good. I like that. I wish I could have seen Childish Gambino. That would have been sick.
He's amazing.
A couple of the coolest performances I've seen were by I actually saw August Burns Red when they did the Leveler tour.
Ooh,
and also
nice.
the Constellations tour too. And for both shows, for the Constellations tour, me and my buddy went to Lancaster to see them in their hometown. That show was insane.
Yes.
And then for the Leveler tour, saw them at Franklin Music Hall. And for both shows, it was basically in the front row for both of them, and it was just like their stage presence plus like how tight they are as a band is like incredible to me.
Can agree.
Another cool performance was seeing Earth, Wind, and Fire at the BB&T.
What?
Or whatever it's called now.
That's so sick. Oh, what? That's awesome.
Great musicianship.
That's rad. I like it. Joe, what do you got?
I'm going to shout out my two favorite artists that I saw on the Sad Summerfest tour when I went. I think it was the first year that they had it. State Champs was awesome. I went specifically to see State Champs, and I loved their set. And surprisingly, I didn't really like listen to them a whole lot before the show, but Mayday Parade like blew me away. Their live performance. I was like, wow, I didn't like this band as much before, but now I really do. I became a Mayday Parade fan on that day.
I think it's crazy because like, I think of some bands that I wasn't initially a fan of to start off with, and then you see them live and you're like, oh shit, they're actually fucking awesome live. And then you go back and listen to an album that you're like, yeah, I don't know if I want to listen to this. And you go back and listen to it, you're like, okay, this actually is really good. So I feel that.
Anytime I hear it, it's like a whole new experience for me now. Now that I've like sung it live at the show, I'm like, great song. It's
100%. So funny. I also got to give a shout out to Matt's answer as well. I saw ABR on the Messengers 10-year and Constellation, so we probably went to the same show. But they're nuts. Like, anytime I have a chance to just say how sick they are as a live band, and if you haven't seen them live, arguably one of the tightest metal bands in the scene, period. Like, they just are insane. And their stage presence is wild. And also the fact that I'm pretty sure they're guitar player Matt just wears flip flops all the time, and that
JB.
like JB wears flip flops all the time, and that like simultaneously makes me think cool, and then also at the same time like, why would you do that like on stage? I feel like that would be like the worst place to wear flip flops. You know, like what if you trip
He
over a
does like
wire and then
spin
you're
kicks
fucked?
and shit too.
Yeah, what if you like lose? Like this is my thought process at an ABR show. Is like, what if he like spins around and his flip flop comes flying off? Like it's gonna smack someone in the face, certainly, right? Like that's what I feel like. And then do you want to have like JB's like sweaty like flip flop like smack up your face? You know, that's. I'm just saying, you know,
Oh
I'm
my
asking
God.
the questions that people don't answer, so I need to know. Has that happened to you? Let me know in the comments. Because this is a genuine question I have. Because I feel like if you're in the front row, you're like straight up like gonna get smacked up with a flip flop. You know, there's no way.
Make sure he gets that back.
Yeah, make sure to give it back to JB. I feel like he has like, you know, I feel like he has like a very strange attachment to the flip flop game, you know, which salutes, you know. I feel like if you're gonna stick with some sort of footwear, you know, he's very much on that wave. So guys, let me know if you have been smacked in the face by JB's flip flop. Comments. Cool. Thank you. Next question, guys. Favorite TV show, favorite movie.
Favorite TV show is BoJack Horseman. Favorite movie is Super Troopers.
Oh, yeah. Love it. Love it.
Favorite TV show is either Curb Your Enthusiasm or The Sopranos.
All right. All right. Respect.
Favorite movie. Oh man,
It's a tough one.
it is a tough one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dead
gonna
air.
Yeah. Right. I'm gonna go ahead and just say Scott Pilgrim for now.
Ooh. All right. All
I'm trying
right.
to think
All
of one
right.
that I've like watched a lot of times before.
Joe, what do you got?
And I think I'm going to go Avatar The Last Airbender for my favorite TV show. Classic.
Nice.
And I'm struggling to pick a Star Wars movie because it's kind of my go-to because that's a very hard question. I think I'm going to go with Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, yeah. I had a feeling, you know.
It's a good movie.
Using my like psychic abilities, I was like, you know, if he doesn't say 3, I'm gonna be
Oh, yeah.
low key upset. But you know, I would respect your answer nonetheless. You know,
Oh, yeah. Much appreciated.
but great answers, guys. You know, I love when people get to talk about BoJack Horseman. So salutes to you, Barry. That was on point. Next question, guys. If you were trapped on a desert island for the next month and there was one album you can bring with you to listen to, what album would that be?
Oh, Lord.
Hmm.
Nonfiction by All Systems Go.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
I'm
bro,
done,
listen to
guys.
that enough
I've done
times.
it. We've done it, guys. All right, cool.
Oh, gosh.
What a full circle moment, guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My real answer will be Best Buds by Mom Jeans. I think every song on that thing, there's not a song to skip. So
Nice. All right. Love it.
Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run. My number one.
All right. All right.
And Brand New Eyes by Paramore.
Had a feeling, just, you know, an inkling, but not 100% sure on that. You know, it's like a 50-50 toss-up between, like, Brand New Eyes or Riot, because I feel like, you know, respect to both of those albums. They're, like, masterpieces. So, you know,
Yes, definitely.
love the answers, guys. Well, the last thing, the most important thing that I like to end off most of my interviews with, which is, you know, for people who have made it all the way to the end, God bless you, because I don't know if I would have made it to the end, but you're here, so I appreciate you. And the second thing is, what do you want people to take away from All Systems Go, whether it be from the lyrical perspective of the album or just your band collectively? What do you want people to know about your band that would mean a lot to you? I feel like there's some shit that's going on here that, oh no.
I don't know why
No,
he's
no.
laughing. I don't know
No,
why
no.
he's laughing.
I know what I have a feeling of what Matt's gonna say, and I'm a little concerned. So might as well say it, Matt. Let's go. All right, let's see.
Like, you should go follow the parts up.
Ah, you son of a bitch.
It's like,
Alright,
and on that note,
I'm just kidding.
I had to say it.
You did. We were paid. You have to say it like we have to say it at least 5 times in an interview. We got paid beforehand,
Yeah.
guys. Just want to say
Sponsorship.
Oh yes.
But the question, what should listeners take away from All Systems Go? Was that the question?
Yes, that is the actual question. Yes.
I would say if you like not just pop punk, but if you like rock, then you might enjoy our music.
Mhm.
I hope if you decide to listen to nonfiction that you connect with some of the deeper meanings on some of the songs, because although some of them might have like goofy titles and whatnot, like we did put a lot of effort into like the lyrics and stuff, and they really mean a lot to us. So we hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoyed making the songs.
Joe, Barry?
I'd have to say, I'd have to say that if you're somebody just like even in high school, leaving high school, you're still trying to find your way. Definitely give us a listen. Listen to the lyrics. Try and relate. And we do have a lot of imagery and like things that we try and convey that from our experiences and stuff that you can learn from stuff that we've learned.
Joe,
Yeah.
what do you got?
Just echoing what Matt said. Just if they could relate to anything, listening to the music, then that like is a blast to us, like an honor for us to be able to convey that sort of stuff and just enjoy listening to it because we enjoyed making it. We enjoy listening to it. If other people enjoy it, then that's just the biggest gift in the world to us.
Also, if nonfiction is for any reason too happy for you, just listen to The Waiting Room instead. Be fine.
There you go.
There we go. Either way, listen, go check out All Systems Go. I'll leave the floor to these guys. Tell them where they can find you at on social media, what you guys have coming up. This interview will be going out, I believe, on the 21st of October. So tell the people where they can find you at.
Okay. You can find us on any social media at All Systems Go NJ on everything, whether that's all one word or like spaced out, like on YouTube. All of our music is on every single streaming platform. Either look for the picture of us 3 plus Dean or our logo Spanky the Sparrow on any of the social platforms. And if it's been, I guess, 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks at this point, if you've listened to nonfiction, thank you so much, and we hope you really enjoyed it.
Woo! Well, guys, huge thanks to Megan. She's awesome. So salutes to her
Shout
as
out to Megan.
always. She's great.
Absolutely.
If you like this interview, great. Also, make sure to go follow Fucked Up Trucks. God, I can't. Why did I say that? I really regret saying it. Anyway, please, please go check out All Systems Go. Awesome people, and they have a new album called Nonfiction. It is out right now. All of the links below to go stream it, to go purchase it. If you can go purchase merch, I imagine they have that. If they have CDs, if you buy CDs, what the fuck are you doing? We're in the 21st century. Why do you buy CDs? But I respect you because, you know, I buy vinyl, and you probably could tell me I'm an idiot for doing that. So, kudos.
We have vinyl too.
Oh, yeah.
Got
All right.
some
Well, then
vinyl.
we're buying that shit then. Why did you tell me that? All right. My bank account's going to get open up. Guys, go check out All Systems Go. They're awesome. Had a great time talking with them. And I will most likely be doing a review of the album live. So come hang out. Come join me. There will be some sort of this would have already happened. So if you missed out, you can watch the VOD. If not, then I don't know. Why are you so mean, you know? So go check it out. If you enjoyed this interview, share it, like it, subscribe. It goes a long way. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Music or Google Podcasts, thank you for watching. Make sure to rate me well over there. And huge thanks to All Systems Go for coming on and chatting with me tonight.
Thank you.